Welcome to The Missing Key. Our first speaker is Mark Lauderdale, the team leader, developer, the C-sharp scripter, and programmer.
With the world comes the happy times, the rough times, and the middle times. We all believe that we control our lives, but passion is what drives us. What drives you to your passion? Music brings the soul to life and creates bliss in this world. What pulls you away from that same passion? What happens when your world is ripped away? Darkness is beyond the horizon, and with it comes a choice. Do you abandon your soul to the darkness, or do you fight for that which you love? We are all faced with choices. What will yours be? Welcome to Missing Key, a horror game with elements of suspense and a thriller story that is completely dependent on your courage and fear. Depending on how you handle these, you might find yourself down a dark path. Lead Louis through a series of horrifying puzzles and escape with your soul if you can. And a game about decisions, where one small misstep means total and complete darkness, where one lucky strike leads you to the light. Which step will lead you away from this unholy place? Which avenue do you take to make yourself whole again? Your light begins and ends with your choices. How will your journey to save yourself unfurl? Will you hide and run like a coward? Or will you stand and find your light again? The choice is yours. Will you take it?
Hi, I'm Michael Westwell, Communication Specialist, Lead Level Design, and Assistant to Story Writing. I want to tell you about the story of the missing key that players will soon learn. It takes place in Paris 1950 in a club called Kahana Lovetune. You play as Louis Bradford, a piano player who is practicing in a club hours before opening night. As he practices and hits the C sharp, it doesn't work. Trying it again before getting frustrated as a shadow overlooms the piano. Lewis stands up on the stool and opens the lid of the piano and looks inside, right before being dragged inside. Moments later, he wakes up inside the piano and notices he's very small. Looking around and notice humanoid figurines. That seems to be the keys to the piano. Turning around, Lewis sees a shadow's face appears and starts to laugh at him before fading, telling Lewis, "You come and try to find the missing keys, if you dare." Lewis, now startled by the shadow sounding like him, and wondered who or what it was. Shaking his head once he realizes that the only way he can get out is he must find the missing key.
Our next speaker is Leo Palma, the assistant level designer, assistant scribe, and the assistant mechanics designer.
One of the things that we want to accomplish as a team for The Missing Key is to deliver a fun, thrilling, and horror-filled experience for the player. Our level is taking place inside a piano from the skit, but is not limited to it for the rest of the game. The thing that separates our design and art style from the rest is that we are using a cartoonish approach similar to that of Hello Neighbor. Round edges and non-symmetrical game assets are key to giving the cartoon world effect. This art concept is followed by low light levels throughout the game, making the element of surprise easier to use on the player. Lighting is key in having a horror feel to the game because the player is more bound to be scared of darkness than the light. Flickering lights will be used throughout the level to contribute to a hostile environment. Swinging lights will be incorporated to keep the player on their toes as lights may swing and suddenly there may be something there on the third swing. The level will be mostly made out of wood and will have sound effects to aid its addition to our level. Creaky floors and random footsteps are examples of how this could be used to keep the player's fear meter rising. Assets such as keys will be made out of wood to allow the player to understand the setting that they are in, which is a piano. Sounds will be added throughout the level, which will be activated by triggers to make the gameplay a suspenseful experience. Not to forget dead silence where nothing but the player's footsteps will be heard.
Up next is Justin Ramos, the lead scribe and lead mechanic designer.
In The Missing Keys, we have some fearful mechanics to help you on your journey. But beware, they may hurt you. Our fear meter is a meter that increases as you get closer to the Dark Corruptor, which makes you easier to be caught. You have a stamina bar that depletes as you use your run ability. The player's stamina replenishes over time. The player can also find matches and a light box on the floor. This light can be used to keep the Dark Corruptor away, but be careful, as there is a limit per level. We also have a courage meter where you can sacrifice your fear meter 25% for an extra 25% in stamina gain for that extra boost to escape. This action can be done once per level, so use it wisely. The player is looking for missing key levers. When they find the key, you can use these key levers. When you are being chased, you can use a key lever to keep the Dark Corruptor at bay at the cost of some stamina. Beware, if the Dark Corruptor catches you, it is game over.
Our next speaker is Chase Keller, the video audio lead. In The Missing Key, we focus on music that will trigger emotional responses from the players. There are moments of calm that are tranquil and necessary to give the player a moment of reprieve from the horrors that await. We use ambient, mysterious horror sounds to raise the tension and anxiety of the players when exploring the darkness, and should they stray too long in the unknown, the intense high-tempo tracks increase in volume as their fear meter fills. When the shadow inevitably finds the player, the heavy combat music will really get the player's heart racing until they can find and take solace in the light. And our last speaker is Cody Josephek, a dedicated mediator, art lead, team lead number 2, lead scriptwriter, and lead proofreader.
As you have heard from my teammates, we have an outline and a game plan to execute to make this dream, this vision of ours, a reality. We have come together with a common goal, worked, brainstormed, and came up with this vision for our game. We have come together to make the necessary pieces for our game as well. With your help, we can make this a reality. If you greenlight our project, you won't be taking a chance on a team that just came together. You won't be taking a chance on ideas or schemes that may not work once created. You're investing in a team that has come together, bonded, gelled, and gone through the turbulent waves of the storm to come here before you today to show you that we are in fact a team ready to perform. We have created assets that we know work, and we have a backstory for our main character that will lead to some fascinating story plots and twists. We have chemistry to work together and bring out the best of each other. We have a vision of where this game is going, and we have the necessary pieces around us to put together a masterpiece of a game. Life is full of choices that we make on a daily basis. What we do in these daily endeavors adds up and leads us to where we are today. And today, we stand here because we made choices to come together as a team and create something absolutely extraordinary. All based on choices. We believe in this game so much that we will stop at nothing to make sure this game is finished. The launch of this game is going to be epic. So the only question to ask is, where do you see yourselves when the game launches? Watching the success of the game? Or reveling in the success with your team? Your choice.